From bad to worse. Now, yes, in this video, we're going to be talking about Erik Ten Hag and is he under pressure with the Manchester United fan base? Now, I went to the game yesterday and yes, a very disappointing result, losing to Brighton 3-1 in that manner was absolutely disgraceful from Erik Ten Hag. The tactics, I do believe that loss was on him. The tactics that he made, the formation, the substitutions, it was just very questionable from Erik Ten Hag. So, with that performance, is he now beginning to go under pressure and is the cycle repeating itself once again? But before getting to today's video, please make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment on what you think of Erik Ten Hag and does he deserve to be sacked? Does he deserve more time or do you back Erik Ten Hag? Because for me, I back Erik Ten Hag, I back my manager, and I believe that Erik Ten Hag is going for a rough patch at the moment. Manchester United have got a lot of injury crisis. The board and the backing is just not getting backed at all. And I just believe the fans being on his back is building extra pressure and causing a scene that doesn't need to be caused. Because if you look at Erik Ten Hag throughout the entire time he's been at Manchester United, he's had to deal with so many toxic situations. You look at the Ronaldo situation, you look at now the Sancho and Antony situation, just to name a few, plus lots more. Erik Ten Hag has had to deal with a lot, and I believe he's still the right man for the job. He proved it last season by getting us third place and winning us our first trophy in 5 years. Because I feel like Manchester United fans are being very disrespectful towards Erik Ten Hag considering what he did for us last season. Because nobody expected Manchester United to be challenging for top 4, let alone winning a trophy. And this season, because Erik Ten Hag did so well, we're now all expecting us to challenge for the title or get top 2 or challenge Arsenal for City and all that jazz. Erik Ten Hag has done amazing, and people now, because we're losing, people seem to forget where we were a year ago. Because last season, this time last year, we only had 9 points from a possible of 15. This season, we only have 6 out of possible 15. But this season, for me, I think we've played better teams and tougher teams than we did last season. I mean, you look at last season, we lost 2-1 to Potter's Brighton, we lost 4-0 to Brentford away from home, then we won at Old Trafford against Liverpool, and then we beat Southampton and Leicester only 1-0. They weren't very convincing performances, and this season we've gone up against Postecoglou's Spurs, who have been very, very good, Arteta's Arsenal, who were in a title race last season, and De Zerbi's Brighton. These teams are going to be challenging for the European spot. So it's not like we're playing against Burnley or Luton or Fulham, for example. These teams that United should be beating. We're going into each one of these games and it is a challenge. And I believe Erik Ten Hag is getting a lot of scrutiny that isn't deserved at the moment. Like I said, yes, that loss against Brighton was on him. The decisions he made were very questionable. But I don't believe people should start saying Erik Ten Hag out anytime soon, because you're doing exactly what the Glazers want you to do. They want you to point fingers at the wrong person. And before anyone says Erik Ten Hag out, just remember who is controlling him like a puppet. They finally got his claws into him. Erik Ten Hag is now speaking like a broken man. He's speaking like a manager who has lost the will to live and has been captured and is being controlled by the Glazers. He's now their puppet and he's going to have to protect him. Fergie protected him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer protected him. It was only until really Ralph Rangnick became our interim manager, which is when we found out the true meaning behind the manager who doesn't really care for our club but would speak the truth. And I think that's why a lot of fans respected Ralph Rangnick. Yes, his football ideally wasn't the best, but at the end of the day he gave us the truth, and that's exactly what Erik Ten Hag brought to us with that discipline and the sternness of manager that he is. Erik Ten Hag is a brilliant manager, and I'm going to say that until he leaves Manchester United, whether it's on good or bad terms, because I really rate this manager in Erik Ten Hag. But the way it could go bad from worse is that now Aaron Wan-Bissaka is now out injured for 2 months. This is a massive blow because for me, Wan-Bissaka was our best right back. Diogo Dalot, it now makes sense why he started over Wan-Bissaka yesterday against Brighton. But to counter that argument, you can see why Wan-Bissaka was ahead of him, because Matoma completely destroyed Diogo Dalot yesterday, in my opinion. Diogo Dalot wasn't very good. FootMob gave him a rating of a 7.4 somehow. Apparently he was one of our best players, and apparently so was Marcus Rashford. I don't know what ratings they're using. I think it was just mainly stats, but you don't have to see stats to know a player's good. Look at Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has great aerial distribution or great passing distribution, but we know that is crap. But that's just my opinion, and you guys might agree as well. But with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it is now bad to worse, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me is just getting better and better as games goes on. The resurgence he's had of his career at Manchester United is absolutely brilliant. But hopefully, at the end of the day, Manchester United do perform well against Bayern Munich. That is our next game, and I do think Manchester United are going to struggle. It's going to be a very, very tough game. But I do believe Erik Ten Hag is going to make some changes. I don't think he's going to set up the way he did against Brighton. Hopefully someone like Varane or Mason Mount are available. It will be a massive bonus, or even someone like Amrabat. Just some extra players that we can bring in, just so we're not having to rely on young players like Palestra, Garnacho, Hannibal Mabry, who, by the way, what a goal that was, by the way. But again, a moment of brilliance, which is what this club has been. It's been our motto, you could say, for the last probably like 3-4 years, just moments of brilliance. Last season, you can kind of say that wasn't the case, but there were a lot of cases last season as well where moments of brilliance did happen, which did cause us to win games. And yes, Hannibal Mabry, he scored a brilliant goal, but apart from that goal from Hannibal Mabry and the goal that was disallowed for Rasmus Højlund, where were our goals coming from? Marcus Rashford had 12 shots yesterday. Rasmus Højlund had 0. That just sums up the performance that Marcus Rashford put up. And one's supposed to be the striker and one's supposed to be the winger. Now, that's no disrespect on Rasmus Højlund, because Rasmus Højlund had 1 shot and scored from it, but was ruled out as out of play because Marcus Rashford didn't keep the ball in time. Now, yes, it was a very tight angle, and VAR absolutely screwed us over that. Whether you would debate it, whether it's in or not, I personally thought it was in, but I am going to back that, because I feel like that with the Garnacho situation as well, there's been 2 times now, back-to-back games, where Manchester United have been screwed over by VAR. And Erik Ten Hag is now trying to complain this. Erik Ten Hag is now trying to fight for it, because it's happened to Manchester United way too much. And rival fans are absolutely loving it. And rival fans will want Erik Ten Hag out. Rival fans will make fake Manchester United accounts and say Erik Ten Hag out, because they are loving it. Because they know Erik Ten Hag is a world-class manager, and they fear him, because they know if the manager of their current clubs would be sacked, they would have Erik Ten Hag in a heartbeat. And fans won't admit that. Rival fans won't admit that. But realistically, apart from if Erik Ten Hag was to leave Manchester United, and someone like Pep Guardiola or someone like Jurgen Klopp, a manager like that, Liverpool and City will probably have talks with Erik Ten Hag and see if he would want to come to their clubs. And you know what? He would do absolutely brilliant for them. And that's just my opinion, because I really back this manager. We could have had Pochettino at Manchester United. That's what the board wanted. That's what the Glazers wanted. But guess what? Because of the fans' uproar, Manchester United went and got Erik Ten Hag as our manager. And that's why I have such a close relation towards Erik Ten Hag, because he's the people's champion. He's the people's manager. If it wasn't for Manchester United fans' uproar, we would be struggling with Pochettino right now. I mean, look at Chelsea. They've spent so much money. They're in a complete mess. Pochettino is worse than Erik Ten Hag. People say that he had to deal with massive egos in PSG. Yes, that was true. He won them the league title. But anyone could win the league title with PSG. It's a cheat code. You can do anything. It's like Man City at the moment. Farmers' leagues. And even though Premier League is the most competitive league in the world, it's still a farmers' league, because Man City pretty much win it every single season. I don't see anyone challenging Man City for the title this season, and it's going to be absolutely horrible to see him lift that trophy 4 times in a row, because no other English team has ever done that achievement, which is a kick in the backside, considering last season they also won the treble. So it'd be a massive achievement for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. But this is about Erik Ten Hag, and with Erik Ten Hag, I back him all the way. So Manchester United fans, if you've made it this far into the video, you should too. But anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and thank you for watching. Take care.